latissimus dorsi is a big muscle that dominates the lateral lower part of the back, and when it contracts, what happens is the arms are adducted, extended and internally rotated, which means if someone was to put their hands behind their back as if to have them handcuffed, so the arm is rotating in, backwards and like this, and this is the area of latissimus dorsi. You can feel this big muscle here. Yeah? We then have the rhomboids. The rhomboids are in the back and they are deep to the trapezius. They're a rhomboid shape and they connect the medial border of the scapula to the spine. And when they get smaller, they adduct the scapula, so they bring the scapula together. Another way of showing this is if you put your hands in the small of your back. So that's another way of showing it, that they just bring in the two parts of the scapula together, the two scapula together. Yeah? The vata scapulae is a muscle that lifts the scapula. If you put this hand just gently behind your back, yeah? Can you raise your scapula, your shoulder up and down? Yeah? It's coming from the medial, the superior angle of the scapula coming all the way up the neck, and when he raises his shoulder, I can feel this piece of muscle. It's deep to the trapezius. It's just like a long strip here. Yeah? Serratus anterior is a muscle that is actually coming from deep on the anterior surface of the scapula, so it's in between the scapula and the rib cage, and it's coming down onto the ribs. It's called serratus because it has a serrated edge, and anterior because it's coming forwards, and its action is to help bring the shoulder blade forwards when the arm is moving forward. So if Andy throws a punch, you throw a punch in that direction, these muscles are helping to pull the scapula. So they just come down on this area like this. Pectoralis major are the pecs, they are the chest muscles, so if you press your hands against each other, then these come into relief. Pectoralis attaches to the sternum at the first 5 ribs. The inferior border of pectoralis is the 5th intercostal space, and pectoralis attaches to the medial third of the clavicle. So from here, pectoralis is coming down here, which is leaving us a space for the deltopectoral triangle. Yeah? So meets the sternum, 5th intercostal space, medial third of the scapula, and then it's actually coming down like this, and the dip that it leaves here is the deltopectoral triangle. Subscapularis is one of the 4 rotator cuff muscles. It's one of the 4 muscles which stabilises the shoulder. Subscapularis is deep to the scapula, so it's not on this side of the scapula, it's in between the scapula and the rib cage. Yeah? So really the only way to get into it is through there, through behind the arm, through the armpit. Yeah? It's very hard to palpate it. Really the only thing you can do is show what it does, and it adducts and immediately rotates the arm, so it brings the arm in. Supraspinatus is another one of the rotator cuff muscles. Supraspinatus, supra is above spinatus, the spine of the scapula. So on the skeleton, it's running through here, and when it shortens, it provides the first 30 degrees of abduction for the arm. So to initiate abduction of the arm, this muscle that runs through here and comes to here gets shorter, and it means that it raises the arm. After that, the deltoids actually pull it up. But that first 30 degrees are for this muscle which is coming through here and attaching to the humerus are raising the arm. So supraspinatus, you'll just be indicating this area here. Infraspinatus means below the spine, so this is below the spine of the scapula, so it's this big muscle here that is coming, and also it's attaching to the humerus. And if this muscle gets shorter, then obviously it's going to laterally rotate the arm and extend the arm to an extent. It's going to bring that back, yeah? That area gets smaller, so what's going to happen is that's going to go back. So this dominates, really, the bulk of this space here. That's infraspinatus. There's another small muscle just below it which does exactly the same job, and that's called teres minor. So these three muscles, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and then a little muscle here called teres minor, SIT, are sometimes known as the SIT muscles, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and teres minor. You can't repalpate them separately, they all join up, but they're all responsible for lateral rotation of the arm. Yeah? So these are running and attaching on the outside of the humerus, and just one last muscle below here, teres major, is actually coming from here, but it's wrapping on the underside of the arm, or the inside, the medial aspect of the upper arm. So when this shortens, it's going to make the arm rotate medially and anterior-medially, yeah? So supraspinatus, first 30 degrees, infraspinatus and teres major, when they shorten, they're going to make the arm rotate laterally, and teres major, because it's coming on the inside, when that shortens, it's going to make the arm rotate medially. Okay?